we get closer to October 27th, it's looking more likely that the scheduled signing of the Canada-EU trade agreement will take place. A major thorn in the side was Austrian Chancellor Christian Kern, who has taken a 180 turn on his opposition and is now signaling his support for CETA. Kern's opposition was well justified, for CETA includes dispute settlement provisions which allow governments to be challenged by corporations outside domestic courts. Canada's International Trade Minister Chrystia Freeland was in Europe recently, where she met and spoke with German and Austrian politicians. CETA remains a top priority for Canada. Canada is working hard with its European partners so CETA can be signed in October and implemented early next year, she said in an official statement. Justin Trudeau is scheduled to sign the agreement in Brussels on October 27th. Despite tariffs between countries at an all-time low, CETA aims to eliminate non-tariff barriers, which is another way of saying CETA aims to undermine domestic governments by relying on international legal systems, known as the Investor-State Dispute Settlement. It is, in effect, another step towards global government. The treaty expands the definition of investment, broadening the word to include every kind of asset that an investor owns or controls, directly or indirectly, that has the characteristics of an investment, including the expectation of gain or profit. What isn't included in such a definition? All a corporation needs to do is demonstrate an expectation of gain or profit to challenge regulatory obstacles in a non-Western court of law. And this includes intellectual property, claims to money, natural resources, and of course, shares, stocks, bonds, and other debt instruments. CETA, like other agreements that claim to be free trade, are empowering a corporate and technocratic class at the expense of everyone else. When the documents say, the parties hereby establish a free trade area, they mean free trade for them, exempt from the rule of law. If CETA was about free trade, there wouldn't be pages of rules and regulations. It would simply be free trade. That's it. Free exchange between individuals from Canada and European nations. Over 50 Canadian municipalities have requested exclusion from CETA, as part of the deal includes centralization of authority. The deal prohibits these local governments from advocating a buy local mentality. Local governments will be prohibited from applying local content requirements, local training or hiring quotas, or any other offsets defined in CETA as any condition or undertaking that encourages local development. This pro-central and anti-local sentiment pervades the sections on environmental regulations, where CETA aims to promote energy efficiency and the development and deployment of low-carbon and other climate-friendly technologies, ensuring that the move to a so-called post-carbon economy is dominated and controlled by a few. Once signed, CETA will be enforced through the ISDS, the investment court that allows for dispute settlements to take place outside traditional legal systems. Although not perfect and certainly eroded thanks to democracy, Canada and much of Europe evolved under the common law. It is this legal tradition that kept governments from arbitrarily interfering with private lives and commerce. It is this legal tradition, even in its weakened state, that keeps Canada relatively free compared to places like Cuba or North Korea. But CETA, along with the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, are destroying the last refuge of our legal system. CETA is the nail in the coffin of a free society and the inauguration of global government. This whole agenda is being sold to us on this idea that it's going to be beneficial for both nations for trade and also security at the border. At the same time that all of this is going on, the federal government has just announced its biggest trade deal since 1994's NAFTA, which is called CETA, the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement.